Hello and welcome to our traffic control training session. In this video, we will cover essential knowledge and skills for working safely around roadways and active traffic zones, whether you're involved in maintenance, repair, or construction work. Traffic control is a critical part of keeping everyone, workers, and the public safe. We'll go over regulations, hazard identification, proper equipment, and safe work procedures as required under Ontario's construction regulations and Ministry of Transportation guidelines. Welcome to our traffic control training session. We'll cover techniques for safety around active traffic zones, applicable to maintenance, repair, or construction tasks. We will discuss regulations, hazard identification, appropriate equipment, and safe work procedures per Ontario's construction regulations and Ministry of Transportation guidelines.
Program objective. The main goal of this program is to equip you with the ability to apply traffic control measures effectively. This includes understanding and implementing Ministry of Transportation requirements so you can protect yourself, your co-workers, and members of the public from hazards on or near roadways. Action objective. By the end of this session, you should be able to confidently carry out the duties of a traffic control worker. This includes setting up and removing traffic control devices, giving proper signals to vehicles, and following MOT regulations. Your actions will help prevent accidents and ensure the job site remains a safe environment. Learning objectives. Let's take a look at the learning objectives for this training. You will learn to identify different types of roadway work and associated hazards. Understand the legal responsibilities of workplace parties, including employers, supervisors, and workers. Recognize the traffic control sections under Ontario construction regulations. Explain the safe work procedures and responsibilities of a traffic control worker. And identify the required control measures to minimize risks on active roadways. In this training, you'll learn how to recognize roadway work hazards, understand the roles of workplace parties under the law, and apply construction regulations. We'll also review Ministry of Transportation requirements, safe control measures, and the specific duties of a traffic control worker. What is traffic control? Traffic control refers to all the measures used to protect workers and manage the flow of vehicles during roadwork. Roads are a vital part of our infrastructure, and when construction or repairs are needed, traffic control helps prevent confusion, delays, and most importantly, injuries. With proper traffic control, we keep everyone moving safely through or around work zones. Scope of the problem: any roadwork, large or small, can disrupt normal traffic flow. That's why having an effective traffic control plan in place is essential. Whether you're dealing with a paving project, utility repair, or bridge maintenance, it's important to understand the unique risks of each job. Real-world examples of accidents. In 2016, 2 serious traffic control failures led to tragic outcomes and heavy penalties. In the first case, a traffic control person was hit while directing vehicles in both directions. This led to an $80,000 fine. In the second, a worker was killed by a front-end loader because no signaller was present. This resulted in a $150,000 fine. These examples serve as sobering reminders of why following traffic control protocols is not optional, it's vital. Roadwork hazards. Roadwork presents a wide range of hazards. These include moving vehicles and heavy equipment, poor visibility, distracted drivers, weather conditions, chemical or environmental exposure. We'll now take a deeper look into these individual hazard categories and the controls that help manage them. Heavy equipment is one of the biggest hazards on roadway projects. Workers can be struck when standing in blind spots, or hit while directing traffic if drivers don't see them in time. Noise and distractions make the danger worse. The best controls include barriers, proper lighting, trained signalers, and high-visibility protective gear. In traffic control, hazards can be grouped into different categories. Physical hazards: noise, vibration, extreme temperatures, radiation, moving equipment. Chemical hazards, asphalt fumes, silica dust, vehicle emissions. Biological hazards, bacteria, mold, insects. Animal-borne diseases. Ergonomic hazards, awkward postures, repetitive tasks, heavy lifting, long standing. Psychosocial hazards, stress, fatigue, workplace violence, harassment, dealing with aggressive drivers or the public. Safety hazards, slips, trips, falls, electrical contact, struck by or caught in equipment. In traffic control, hazards are grouped by how we manage them. At the source, we aim to eliminate or fully isolate the danger. Along the path, we put controls between the hazard and the worker, such as barriers or procedures. And at the worker level, we rely on protective equipment and safe practices to prevent harm. Roadway workers face serious crushing and striking risks. They can be hit in blind spots where equipment operators can't see them, or struck while directing traffic if drivers don't stop in time. Noise and distractions make these dangers worse. To reduce the risk, we use barriers, strong lighting, train signalers, and high-visibility protective gear. Worker hazards, struck by equipment. One of the most serious risks in traffic control is being struck by moving vehicles or equipment. This can happen when workers are in blind spots or when drivers fail to stop in time. Contributing factors include poor lighting, weather conditions, and distracted drivers. Control measures include installing physical barriers, using high-visibility PPE, deploying train signalers, ensuring proper lighting and signage in work zones. Vehicle emissions. Traffic and heavy equipment expose workers to exhaust fumes. Controls include reducing idling, proper maintenance, catalytic converters, and isolating workers from emissions. Road workers are exposed to emissions from both traffic and heavy equipment. Carbon monoxide can cause headaches, fatigue, or even be fatal at high levels. Long-term exposure to diesel exhaust is linked to cancer and serious organ damage. To protect workers, we reduce idling, maintain equipment properly, and keep people away from exhaust whenever possible. Asphalt paving. During paving work, road crews are exposed to asphalt fumes. These can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat and may cause breathing problems or long-term lung changes. Studies have linked some of the chemicals in asphalt to cancers of the bladder, kidneys, brain, and liver. Asphalt is even listed as a possible carcinogen. To reduce the risk, we use proper ventilation, limit exposure, and wear protective equipment. Extreme weather. Fog, rain, hail, strong winds, and other severe weather can make roadwork extremely dangerous. Bad weather reduces visibility, affects vehicle stability, and increases stopping distances. Workers must stay alert to changing conditions. Controls include avoiding work during storms, using proper lighting, and wearing clothing that keeps workers visible and protected from the elements. Visibility and lighting. Poor visibility is a serious hazard on roadwork sites. Night work, fog, rain, or overcast skies make it harder for drivers and equipment operators to see workers. This increases the risk of collisions or falls over uneven ground. To stay safe, we use warning lights, barriers, and high-visibility clothing to make sure workers are always seen. Ultraviolet radiation. Roadway workers are exposed to the sun for long hours, especially in summer. Excessive ultraviolet radiation can cause painful sunburns and increase the risk of skin cancer. To stay safe, workers should use shade whenever possible, apply waterproof sunscreen, and wear light-colored clothing, hats, and sunglasses. Heat and cold stress. Working outdoors exposes road crews to both heat and cold stress. High heat can cause dehydration, exhaustion, or even heat stroke. Extreme cold can lead to frostbite, numbness, and reduced alertness. Both conditions lower a worker's capacity and increase the chance of mistakes. Staying safe means wearing the right clothing, taking regular breaks, and keeping hydrated. Heat and cold stress controls. To control heat stress, workers should wear light, breathable clothing, apply sunscreen, and take frequent breaks with plenty of fluids. For cold stress, layered clothing and regular warm-up breaks are essential. These simple steps protect workers' health and help them stay alert and productive on the job. Biological hazards. Roadway workers can be exposed to biological hazards such as bacteria, mold, parasites, or viruses. Birds and animals may carry ticks or diseases like rabies, and stagnant water or sewage can spread waterborne illnesses. Controls include using barriers like fencing, wearing the right PPE such as rubber boots and gloves, and applying insect repellent when needed. Confined spaces. Confined spaces are fully or partially enclosed areas not designed for continuous human occupancy. Because of their construction, contents, or location, they may quickly develop hazardous atmospheres. Examples include sewers, drains, trenches, and pipelines. Anyone entering a confined space must follow the confined space program and safe entry procedures required by law. Examples of confined spaces on roadwork sites include sewers, drains, trenches, and large pipelines. These areas can quickly become dangerous. Workers who enter must be trained and must follow the company's confined space plan, including air monitoring, permits, and rescue procedures. Noise. Roadwork generates a lot of noise from heavy equipment, trucks, and tools. Prolonged exposure can damage hearing, cause stress, and even mask warning signals of danger. In Ontario, the exposure limit is 85 decibels over an 8-hour shift. Controls include using sound barriers, keeping equipment well maintained, and wearing proper hearing protection like earplugs or earmuffs. Silica dust. Silica is a basic component of rock and sand. Cutting, drilling, or grinding concrete and asphalt can release fine silica dust into the air. Breathing this dust over time can cause silicosis, a serious and irreversible lung disease. Symptoms include shortness of breath, a severe cough, and general weakness. That's why silica control is critical on every roadwork site. Silica dust controls. To control silica exposure, we can substitute safer materials, use local exhaust ventilation, and apply water spray systems to keep dust levels down. Barriers can limit exposure or restrict access. And workers must wear proper PPE such as respirators or dust masks. These measures are vital to protect respiratory health on site. Electrical hazards. Roadwork often takes place near electrical power sources, such as overhead lines or underground cables. Contact with these can cause electrocution. Before work begins, all power sources must be identified and marked so workers and equipment do not come into contact. Electrical hazards include electrocution, arc flash, and electrostatic shock, all of which can be fatal without proper controls. Electrical hazard controls. To control electrical hazards, we start with design and prevention. Lampposts should be designed so maintenance can be done from the ground. Overhead and underground cables must be clearly marked. And protective guards should be installed. Only approved, grounded electrical equipment should be used, with barriers keeping workers away from live sources. PPE like rubber boots, gloves, and insulated tools provide another layer of protection. Arc flash. An arc flash is a dangerous electrical explosion caused by a short circuit, often during work on energized systems. The heat can reach extreme temperatures, instantly burning skin or igniting clothing. The blast creates a pressure wave strong enough to throw workers and damage internal organs, especially in confined spaces. Arc flashes also eject molten metal and debris, which can cause severe eye and body injuries. That's why proper PPE, insulated tools, and safe work procedures are essential. Workplace violence. Workplace violence is defined as the use or threat of physical force against a worker that can cause injury. Traffic control workers may face aggression from angry drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, or even co-workers. Violence or harassment should never be ignored. Every incident must be reported so that action can be taken to keep workers safe. Workplace violence. Examples: workplace violence can take many forms. It may be verbal threats or abuse, leaving threatening notes, or wielding an object as a weapon. It can also include kicking or pushing equipment being used by a worker, or even attempting to run down a worker with a vehicle. No matter the form, violence is never acceptable and must always be reported immediately. Occupational Health and Safety Act. The Occupational Health and Safety Act sets out the rules for keeping construction sites safe. It defines the duties of employers, supervisors, contractors, owners, and workers. It also gives workers important rights: the right to know about hazards, the right to participate through health and safety committees or representatives, and the right to refuse unsafe work. Role of MOL inspectors. Ministry of Labor inspectors play a key role in keeping worksites safe. They have the authority to enter any job site at any time, issue orders, and investigate complaints or work refusals. Inspectors can direct workplace parties, perform inspections, and ensure that the law is being followed. Workers and employers must always cooperate fully when an inspector is on site. MOL Enforcement Blitz. In 2015, the Ministry of Labor carried out an enforcement blitz in the construction sector. Inspectors focused on project planning, the competency of signalers and operators, the use of high-visibility clothing, and ensuring dump trucks had working alarms. These blitzes remind us that safety compliance is always under review and must be taken seriously on every project. Jurisdiction. The Ministry of Labor has the authority to enforce the Occupational Health and Safety Act and its regulations. Inspectors can direct workplace parties to correct hazards and ensure safe practices. Alongside police services, they also enforce sections of the Highway Traffic Act. Together, these rules set the requirements for protecting both workers and the public during roadwork. Duties of employers. Employers have a legal duty to protect workers. They must take every reasonable precaution for safety, provide proper information, instruction, and supervision, and make sure workers and supervisors are aware of hazards. Employers are also required to appoint only competent supervisors to oversee work. Employers must provide all protective equipment and devices required by regulation, and ensure they are kept in good condition. They must also make sure equipment and materials are used properly, and that all safety measures and procedures are carried out on site. These responsibilities are central to maintaining a safe workplace. Duties of supervisors. Supervisors have responsibilities that connect directly to the employer's duties. They must make sure work is performed safely and that protective measures are followed. Supervisors also ensure workers use the PPE provided and follow the required procedures at all times. Supervisors must inform workers of all known hazards and provide written instructions where required by law. They are also expected to take every reasonable precaution in the circumstances to keep workers safe. Strong supervision is essential for preventing accidents and ensuring compliance on the job site. Traffic Control Supervisor. A traffic control supervisor is responsible for overseeing the project's traffic protection plan. They must ensure traffic control devices are in place and that workers are trained and informed of any changes. The supervisor also makes sure PPE is worn correctly, equipment is used safely, and coordinates traffic control when more than one worker is needed. Competent person defined. The competent person is someone who has the knowledge, training, and experience to organize work and direct it safely. They must be familiar with the Occupational Health and Safety Act and the regulations that apply. And they need to recognize any actual or potential dangers in the workplace. Certain tasks in construction can only be performed by someone who meets this competency standard. Duties of workers. Workers also have legal responsibilities. They must never disable protective devices unless a safe temporary measure is in place. They cannot operate equipment or machines that could endanger themselves or others. and they must avoid horseplay, pranks, or any other unsafe conduct while on the job. Workers must follow the Occupational Health and Safety Act and its regulations. They are required to use or wear the protective equipment provided by the employer. It's also their duty to report any missing or defective equipment, as well as hazards or violations of the law. Speaking up helps keep everyone on site safe. Workers' right to refuse. Workers have the right to refuse work if they believe it could harm themselves or others. When a refusal happens, the supervisor must investigate in the presence of the worker and a health and safety representative. The law outlines clear steps for handling work refusals, and workers are protected from reprisals when exercising this right. Construction projects regulations. The construction projects regulations give more specific direction to support the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Section 67 to 69 cover traffic control, defining key terms such as barricade, barrier, and mobile operation. These definitions ensure everyone on site understands what measures must be in place to protect workers from traffic hazards. Traffic Protection Plan. Employers are required to prepare a written traffic protection plan before work begins. The plan must outline the traffic hazards and the measures that will be used to protect workers. It must also be kept on site and available to workers or inspectors on request. Following the Ministry of Labour and Ministry of Transportation guidelines ensures the plan is effective and compliant. Traffic control measures. Traffic control measures are designed to keep both workers and the public safe. These include barriers, barricades, delineators, lane control devices, warning signs, flashing lights, flares, blocker trucks, sign trucks, and speed control devices. Regulations also call for longitudinal buffer areas. Along with trained traffic control workers, these measures form multiple layers of protection against roadway hazards. Traffic control setup. Traffic control measures must always be set up properly, exactly as outlined in the protection plan. The worker responsible for setting up or removing these measures must be competent, must not perform any other task at the same time, and must receive clear written and oral instructions in a language they understand. This ensures traffic control devices are placed and removed safely. Traffic control worker regulations set out specific duties for traffic control workers. They must be competent and focus only on directing traffic while on duty. They cannot be positioned in a way that puts them at risk. And they must receive clear written and oral instructions, including a description of the traffic signals they are required to use. These rules are designed to keep both workers and road users safe. Traffic control restrictions. Traffic control workers are not allowed to direct more than one lane of traffic moving in the same direction at a time. They are also prohibited from directing traffic where the posted speed limit is greater than 90 km per hour. In these cases, the traffic protection plan must use other control measures that don't place workers at risk. Required PPE. The regulations require specific personal protective equipment for traffic control work. This includes protective headgear, safety footwear, and eye protection. Workers must also have appropriate skin protection and fall protection where there is a risk of falling. Employers must provide training and instruction on the proper use, maintenance, and inspection of PPE to make sure it protects workers effectively. Traffic control PPE. Traffic control workers must always be visible to approaching drivers. Regulations require them to wear a vest or garment in fluorescent blaze or international orange. This high visibility clothing makes sure they stand out clearly against the roadway environment, reducing the risk of accidents. Traffic control PPE. At nighttime. During nighttime hours, traffic control workers must wear garments with retroreflective silver stripes. These reflective markings ensure that headlights make workers clearly visible to drivers, providing an added layer of protection when visibility is reduced. Use of barriers. Barriers must be installed to protect roadway workers when projects take place on a freeway, are not mobile operations, and are expected to last more than 5 days. If barriers are not practical, or the project is shorter in duration, crash trucks must be used instead. These measures provide a physical shield between workers and live traffic. Traffic control is about protecting lives yours, your co-workers, and the public's. By applying these safe work procedures, we can ensure that every project is completed safely. Thank you for participating in this training.